Hello, and here we are again. I'm Vontia Bors from Connect the Soul, and I am here to do another prosperity and soul wisdom oracle card reading and mostly teaching. So, if you're interested in my work, by the way, and you want to know what else I do, because this is really new and it's very small in comparison to everything else that I do, and I'm enjoying it very much. But if you want to know more about what I do and what other work there is available to you, go down. The link below is my website, my Facebook page. Please join me there. And also, if you're interested in the retreats in Bali that I run, the information is down below. And I think that's it. Other than, it's quite a dull day here on September the 3rd, 2017 in Australia, Melbourne, Australia. So I've had to put some lighting on me, but you can still see the beautiful flowers behind me, and it's a bit windy. Melbourne tends to get a bit windy, but the blossoms are coming out, which is a great sign. Spring is on the way, and I'm very happy about that. So let's get into it today. So I'm holding here, of course, the Money and the Law of Attraction cards from Esther and Jerry Hicks with the Abraham teaching. And I'm using those because in my work as a empowerment coach and spirituality teacher, I come across so many people feeling they don't have enough money. You know, they want to do all these things. Well, yeah, but I don't have enough money. And I just think, look, we live in an amazingly abundant universe. And we must learn not to constantly feel that we don't have enough and that we're living in lack because we don't, really. Well, there are many people who do. I do know that. But for those of you who are watching me, I think that we're pretty fortunate and blessed, and we have all our needs are met. And if they're not, then I would like to teach you how to create a world that is going to offer you the natural flow that the universe has to offer you. So let's have a look today what the what the powers that be, or whatever you want to call that, I've called it many names. This field of consciousness that we're all connected and fueled by, and you can call it whatever you like. I like to call it source, although I do know of a wonderful group of people that I had some time with some years ago, and they called it first cause, and I quite like that too. So let's see what is available to us today to teach us a little bit more about living a prosperous, soul-connected life. And I like to just have one card flip out, so if you wouldn't mind, guys, can we just get on with it and just get ourselves a bit of wisdom for today. I hope you're all feeling really great, no matter what your weather, and that you know that you are very special, and they're not being very cooperative. So obviously I need to be chatting to you a bit more. Can we just have one card? They're telling me the bottom card I'm feeling. Wow. I love it when I say something and then a card comes out and it's actually, exactly what I talked about, because I was just talking about that we can create prosperity in our lives. And so, do you know these cards? I do need to thank Esther and Jerry for creating these cards. I just find them very special. And so, this particular card, look, it's got a beautiful labyrinth there. I love the labyrinth, and it's a labyrinth and a clock at the same time. So the time is now. The time is now for us all to step into understanding who we really are and what we really capable of. And it says here, I can create both money and the time to enjoy it. Gosh, how often do I hear people say, look, maybe tomorrow, or maybe, or how many times I hear, look, I really want to do your retreat, but maybe next year. Well, you know what? I'm here today. I don't know if I'll be here tomorrow. I don't even know if I'll be here this afternoon. All I know is I'm here now. And I've become very much a do-it-now person. So when I get something that says, I'd like to do this, then I look into it straight away and go, you know what? If my soul's saying that looks interesting and that, I'd like to do that, I'll move towards it straight away. Because I've learned from experience that tomorrow is not a promise. And besides that, there is no tomorrow, by the way. When we get there, it'll be today, because now was yesterday's tomorrow. Are you confused? Okay, I'll stop right there and I'll get on with creating money and enjoying it. So let's turn it over and see what this card actually has to say to you. It says, many of you tell us that you are so busy making your money that you do not have time to enjoy it. Oh my Lord, is that not the truth? For when you rely on your action to create, often you are too tired to enjoy your creation. Once you not only understand the power of your thought, but deliberately direct this powerful tool in the direction of things that you desire, then you will discover that the action part of your life is the way you enjoy what you have created through your thought. I'm just going to go back and do that last bit again, because it's really important that we get that. Once you not only understand the power of your thought, well, if you don't already, please understand that every thought you think and every word you speak is creating your next experience. That can be a very scary statement, but it's a statement of truth. So I'm constantly asking people, what's your dominant thought? What's your dominant thought? We think about 60,000 thoughts a day. How many of those are you actually consciously thinking? How many of those are you consciously directing where you would like to create your desires? Not too many, I bet. Because we get so caught up on living and on stories about our life. Oh my lordy, how many stories do we run? And usually the stories are not about, whoops, I just tipped the table. Did you enjoy that? Usually the stories are about things that aren't happening now, so we're wasting the now. So right now, what are you thinking about? Well, hopefully you're thinking about listening to me. but we need to deliberately direct this powerful tool, which is the tool of thinking, in the direction of things you desire. You know that most of the thoughts we think about not having what we desire. I don't have enough money. How many times do you repeat that in a day? And all the universe says to you is, yep, that's true. You don't have enough money. Okay. But if you say, I always have all my needs met, the universe says, or whatever you call that power that brings all things to life, yes, you always have everything you need. If you constantly say, I always have to work so hard to get what I want, and then, first cause, source, God, whatever you want to call that power that fuels all of creation, it says, yes, you have to struggle. So it's not that we are being punished, it's because we are projecting our desire with our thought. So if you say, all things come to me with ease and grace whenever I need it, and you make that your true belief, and you say that every day, 60,000 times, I can tell you it will come in truckloads. But we don't. We forget. And I want to ask you, please do not forget. And it's one of the reasons I've decided to start this weekly reading and this weekly teaching is to empower you to start thinking of yourself as a a part of this entire creative flow of abundance that creates the flowers in our gardens, that gives leaves to the plants. And so, and it gives breath to us. We're all connected, and it's available to us freely. It's the way we think and what we believe is that stops the flow. So that is really why I do these teachings once a week now, to get you to open yourself up to receive all that is possible for you. And we start by how we think. You'll discover when you do that that the action part of your life is the way you enjoy what you have created through your thought. So in other words, what she's saying is, it's really important to do what you can do to activate your flow. And from my perspective, how I activate my flow is I connect to soul. That is my business name, but it is my business name because it's how I live. I don't see myself as just a physical body and persona that is struggling on its own. For those of you, for those of the people who've worked with me for the last 30 years, you know that I walk with a team. I'm surrounded by more unseen beings than I would ever be able to be surrounded by seen beings. I have the angelic kingdom is always there for me, and I have very high connections to source that I'm constantly guided by, and I listen to and I connect with and I ask, and I have my what I call Council of 12. I have all of these beings, and so and by the way, if you would like to create all that for you, I would suggest that is what my Connect to Soul retreat in Bali is all about. It gives you 7 days where you really learn how to do that on a constant basis. So for me, I just constantly know, I have a knowing that the flow of life, when I allow it to freely go through me and I listen to it and I move forward. Life is about constantly moving forward. We tend to stop so much. If we think that we don't have what we need or we're not supported the way that we would like to be, we tend to stop our life. We stop our life flow because of fear, because of doubt. Anytime that you have fear thoughts or doubt thoughts, you actually restrict the life flow from being prolific in you and in your life, and therefore in your experience. So therefore, to learn to think your way into your desires, I would suggest is one of the wonderful gifts that you give yourself. I have an itchy nose. And so really examine and see, where are your thoughts? What kind of thinking do you do? What is your dominant thought when it comes to prosperity and money? What is your dominant thought when you open your wallet? Do you open your wallet with fear? Do you open your bills with fear? Do you know I cured myself of that? I used to, those little things that come in the mail and they have a little window. Well, thank goodness nowadays they don't like sending them to you anymore because everything's being done on the computer and it's done digitally. Well, I've done that many years ago. I decided that I didn't like the big bills. And so because by the time that the big bill came, I would probably have spent most of the money. So I decided I would have a good look and see how much do I spend on electricity, how much do I spend on gas per year, and then I would break it down into weeks or fortnights, and then I would go to my online account, and I would actually tell my bank to send that much money every week or every fortnight. So because I live in Melbourne where we have seasons, so I don't spend as much on these services in the summer as I do in the winter. So the summer I'm always in credit. I'm in credit with my phone bill. I'm in credit with most of the services that I require, because there's a constant flow going out, and I don't notice it because it's a small amount constantly rather than these great big bills. And I'm so grateful because You know, people look at bills with such a negative connotation, but remember, the people that are sending you the account, they have already given you the service in trust. So therefore, they've done their job. And if you don't like your bills, you don't have to pay them. I always say that. People laugh at me. No, you don't. I will tell you that every week. Don't pay your bills. But then don't expect the service. Simple. Life is pretty simple. If you want the luxury of having the services, then be prepared to have an equal exchange. Money is just an exchange for services. So be prepared to do that graciously and in gratitude. I am so grateful, for the services that I pay for, to be able to sit here with my computer and do this video with you. If I didn't have that service, I couldn't do that. So I'm forever grateful for it. I mean, I'm so grateful for everything I have. I live in a beautiful home. I have ducted heating. I have ducted evaporative cooling. I have lights, and everything's at my fingertips. So why would I complain when they ask me to pay for it? I'm only too happy to pay for it. I'm very excited to pay for it because I appreciate it. So sometimes it's just a change of attitude, isn't it, when we're talking about prosperity and money? Why does money have such a huge power over us? Have you ever thought about that? We have made money so important, and I think part of that is because we've lost sight of what's truly important. At the end of the day, what's really important is how much have you loved, how much have you been loved, and how much have you laughed, and how much have you enjoyed in your life? Because at the end of our day, that's all that really matters. We can't take all of our things, all of our stuff. I look around my house, and I've moved a few times and I've culled every time. But honestly, for one little person, I have so much stuff. And I think, what am I doing with all this stuff? But the one thing that I really treasure more above anything is my health, my beautiful family, my amazing friends, the gorgeous people that I work with all the time, who come to me and who I share my life work and my wisdom with. And none of that actually is costing me anything. I love nature. I'm surrounded by gardens, by a small but very prolifically growing garden all around my house. There are so many beautiful parks and gardens in my city. So all of those things I can go and do, and they don't cost anything. Look for the joy in life. Look for what is joyful to you. Start your day with gratitude. Focus on what it is that you desire, but focus on it from a place of it being on its way or already having it. One of the things I always say to people is, how will I know when you have whatever you're asking for? And they can really look at me funny. But the secret, or one of the secrets to manifesting or bringing into view, which is what manifestation means, that which you desire, is to become the energetic vibration of that desire. So imagine yourself in it. Visualize. Now, people do it all the time. I love watching people at sport. I'm watching the US Open at the moment. And it's just so wonderful to see how before they serve, they stop a moment, they close their eyes, and they're visualizing the ball going in. Well, it doesn't always work, but most of the time it does. It's that visualization of seeing it occurring. So whatever your desires, you can create it. See it happening. Start living as if. You can create both money and the time to enjoy it. It's no good creating a lot of money, and a lot of people do that. And then they're too tired, or they're already too sick because they've sacrificed their health for it. So take a good look at your life and go, how balanced am I? You know, why am I working? Are you working at something you really love? If not, time to change. Because the more you love what you do, and I mean change, not necessarily your job, but definitely change your attitude. The more that you love what you do, the more that will benefit you and more life flow will come into you. So that's really a very powerful message, isn't it, really? I can create both money and the time to enjoy it. I must say that I have done that just about all of my life. Not always easily. Nowadays, it's much more fluid for me. But then I've been, working at this for a long time. So let's just read it one more time. Many of you tell us that you are so busy making your money. I always say that if you want to make money, go and work at the mint. That's where they make it, okay? But if you want to, if you want to create abundance in your life, that's a different way of looking at it. You don't not have the time to enjoy it. For when you rely on your action to create, often you are too tired to enjoy your creation. So let's make a promise to yourself that you will be able to create whatever you desire. You will trust that it will come into your life, and you will also have the time to enjoy it. Wow, that was a really lovely, lovely teaching, I think. It's something that I have to be reminded of constantly, and I'm certainly reminding a lot of people of it constantly. So let's just have a look and see what the energy cards have to add to that. As I told you last week, these are only new to me, and I'm enjoying them a lot. They are very wonderful. Oh, and I want to share with you, I did something that I haven't done for many, many years. And again, it was because I was guided to do it. And I went to see a beautiful lady who is a clairvoyant. And I have to say that I'm a bit of a skeptic, thank you, when it comes to clairvoyance, card readers, because it says I. And that's why I don't do card reading as such. I use the cards as a direct message from, wherever I'm tuned into, and then I teach that message. But before I look at this card, so I went to see this clairvoyant, and oh my goodness, she was so beautiful. And she was so good. I just loved, when I come across people who have pure, authentic energy, and she did, and I just enjoyed being with her so much. One of the things that she did tell me was that I would always have everything that I needed provided for. And she also told me that I would still be doing this work for many more years. So, okay, so this is a very interesting card that it's interesting to me because if you could see, I don't know what you can see of the light, but it's very grey outside and there's definitely a storm on the way. And considering what's going on in the world at the moment, particularly in the US, I think storm warnings are very, very appropriate. But I kind of like the storm warning because we are in a period of transition. And I'm really seeing the split more and more, where some of humanity is becoming more fearful, more aggressive, more in doubt, more three-dimensional, as I call it. And there are then more and more of us who have finally come home to knowing who we truly are. And we're stepping out of that, and we're starting to work more and more towards becoming the conscious creator of our life, and to trust that there is, in actual fact, within us, a power that is waiting to be awakened. And so the more that we step into that with trust, the less we are attached to all the aggro, as I call it, of the third dimension. And as a result, I am noticing a real shift in that there's now such a division. I can see that's a three-dimensional person, and that's a person who's on the way out. It's becoming to me more and more obvious. I certainly know where I'm aligning my energy, and I just look at these people and I go, oh, okay, you're still not, you're still there, but I don't need to stay there. I can move across the bridge. And so more and more people have to come to storm warnings to make that journey, because humanity is on a path of evolution and we're part of that. And so all the attachments we've made to the commercialism, to the I have to have something, I have to have this and I have to have that and I have to have something else. All that is just so crazy. And we have to become much more aware that it's not about the stuff that we have, it's about who we are and how kind we are and how tuned into each other we are, and the understanding that we are all one and we cannot hurt another without hurting ourselves. So the more that we love ourselves, the more we can love others, and this is where we're heading. So storm warnings are about, just know that there is, in the energy field, there is a shift happening. Don't get trapped into it. And as I say so, I can hear the rain starting to pelt down behind me. So that storm warning is absolutely accurate in Melbourne right now. But hey, how much do we love rain? Because without water we can't exist. And when I look at this, one of the things that I talk a lot about is that we're energy beings and that we're electromagnetic. And if you really look at this closely, can you see how the lightning, and it just proves to you that we live in an electrical universe, and it's magnetic. So that is why our thoughts are so vital. That is why every thought you think is drawing to you electrically what you've asked for. Remember, if you plug in the microwave, don't expect it to freeze your meat. I love using the electrical system as an analogy to who we really are. We are all little electrical appliances here to do a specific thing and resonating to a specific energy. So don't try to be something you're not. Just be yourself, your authentic, truthful self, and love yourself more. So that's me for today, and I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. Take care of you, love you, and when you look out into the world, outside of you, start noticing the prosperity, the abundance that is all around you. I love you. I send you health, wealth, and an enormous amount of joy. So, namaste. Till next week.